Hello everybody, namaskaram to all the beautiful people out there. Hope you guys are doing amazingly well. Welcome back to another lesson of English with Ashish. And guys, in this lesson, we are going to master present indefinite tense. We are going to learn everything about this tense. It's one of the most used tenses we have in English. We use it every single day. So it's vital that we know how to use it, when to use it, how to form sentences in present indefinite tense. So without wasting any time, let's do it. I'm excited, super excited. Okay, so when do we use present indefinite tense is the very first thing we should know. Forget about how to make sentences, what are the structures and everything. Forget about all these things. Let's understand when do we have to use present indefinite tense. Why do we use it, right? So we use present indefinite tense to talk about repeated actions, right? When we talk about repeated actions that we do repeatedly, we use present indefinite tense. And we also talk about universal facts in present indefinite tense and some other things as well that I'll be talking about going forward in the lesson, right? So the most important purpose of using present indefinite tense is to talk about actions that we do over and over again, to talk about actions that are regular, right? Now, what are these actions? If you asked me, what do you do, Ashish? I'll simply say, I sleep. I wake up in the morning at 6, which I don't, just lying. I wake up in the morning at 6, I go to the washroom, I brush my teeth, I take a shit. There is no shame in this, everybody does it. I take a shower, I come back, I have my breakfast, I talk to my family, I talk to my friends, I watch some movies, I write some things, I work on my grammar lessons, I then again eat food, drink water, drink other stuff, right? Go outside, play with kids, right? Play with my dog, I talk to people, I go to new places, I go to a specific place. So these are the things I do every single day. Obviously other things as well, like I stand up, I sit down, I laugh, I cry, I weep, I beat people, I don't. Okay, so all these things are actions that we do over and over again, right? We repeatedly do these actions. So the frequency might differ, but we do all these actions over and over again, right? Now, let me show you some examples of present indefinite tense. Some statements, some sentences in present indefinite tense, right? He works in a club. He does it and he does it over and over again. He works there, right? I make grammar lessons. I do this over and over again. It's not like I just did it for once and I never did it. No, I do this over and over again. This is a regular action. It happens all the time, right? The frequency might vary. I can also talk about the frequency of this action using some adverbs of frequency, like I make grammar lessons every day. I make grammar lessons once in a while. I make grammar lessons sometimes. I seldom make grammar lessons. I hardly make grammar lessons. I can also talk about the frequency of this action, right? Third example, my father teaches meditation to kids. This is what my father does, and he does it over and over again. It's a regular action, okay? The sun rises in the east. It's a fact. It was true in the past, it's true in the present, and it's going to be true in the future as well. So whenever we talk about something which is a fact, which is a universal truth, we use present indefinite tense, right? We'll talk about the structures as well, right? Let's understand how to use it. She does yoga every day. This is what she does, okay? She does it over and over again. And what is the frequency? She does it every day. She does this action every day. Max plays football. This is what he does, and he does it over and over again. This is a regular action that takes place over and over again. Now, we do not know the frequency of the action, but we can know it if we want to know it, right? We can use some adverbs of frequency and talk about the frequency of this action as well. Now, let's understand this. All these sentences are not referring to a particular time. These are regular actions that repeatedly happen. Now, let me show you all the situations where we have to use present indefinite tense or where we use present indefinite tense, right? Number one, repeated actions that we just looked at, right? Number two, universal facts and truths. We had a statement. Number three, likes and dislikes. Number four, interests and hobbies. And number five, goals and ambitions, right? Whenever you talk about all these things, you use present indefinite tense, right? Guys, I don't want you to understand the structure or rules and everything. I want you to understand why this tense exists. why we use this tense, right? Once you understand that, you can teach it to others as well. If you try to get into the rules and structures, you'll miss the whole point, which I don't want. I want you to understand why this tense exists. Why do we use this tense, right? Okay, let's understand all these things separately. Number one, repeated actions, right? We talk about actions that we do over and over again. We repeatedly do. He visits a temple every day. He does something every day. Jacob talks to a mother rudely. This is what he does repeatedly. He talks to a mother rudely. I exercise twice a day to be fit. I do something. What is that? Exercise. I exercise. I do an action twice a day. What is the frequency? Twice a day to be fit. I teach English, right? So all these sentences are talking about things that the speaker repeatedly does. Okay, point number one. All the things that you repeatedly do use present indefinite tense. Okay. Number two, universal truth. Here we talk about things that are true for everybody. That's a fact. The sun rises in the east. That's a fact. Plants give us oxygen. That's a fact. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Again, that's a fact. Okay. Number three is interest and hobbies. When you talk about your interest and hobbies, right, you use present indefinite tense. The sentence is always in present indefinite tense. Now, I'll also tell you the difference between interest and hobby as well. Okay, it's important. Example number one, he meditates daily. This is something he likes and he does it over and over again. I love talking to people. This is what I like. It interests me, right? Talking to people interests me. I love talking to people. I'm talking about something that interests me, right? It's my interest. John writes in his idle time. This is what John does. John writes in his idle time, right? So we're talking about something that John likes to do. It's his interest. Now, what is the difference between interest and hobby? You call something your interest when you like doing it, when you get a good experience out of it, right? Now, you call something your hobby when, point number one, you like doing it, it's your interest. Point number two, you find time to do it, right? Let's suppose playing football is something that I like, so it's my interest. But if I'm not doing it regularly, that's not my hobby, right? But if it is my hobby, it has to be my interest and I'm doing it over and over again. I'm finding time to do it, right? This is the difference between interest and hobby. Okay. Point number four, likes and dislikes. Whenever you talk about what you like and dislike, right, use present indefinite tense. Look at these examples. My father likes old movies, right? I hate drinking milk. He loves talking to me. She prefers coffee to tea. He does not like to party. So all these sentences are talking about likes and dislikes, right? If you're talking about something that you like, use words as like, love, enjoy. And if you're talking about something that you do not like, use words as hate, dislike, and abhor. Okay. So whenever you want to talk about your likes and dislikes, use present indefinite tense. Okay. Point number five, goals and ambitions. If you want to talk about your goals and ambitions, what you want to do, simply use present indefinite tense. Okay. I want to open a school. This is what I want to do. She wants to be a doctor. This is her goal, right? She wants to be a doctor. He wants to be a motivational speaker. This is his goal, right? So here we're talking about goals and ambitions. Now understand, these sentences are not referring to actions that you do repeatedly. It's different. That's why I made all these points separate, right? These things are not talking about repeated actions, right? These are your goals and ambitions, right? Again, likes and dislikes are also things that are not referring to repeated actions. They are just your preferences, your likes and dislikes, right? So now you know all the situations where you use present indefinite tense. Okay, so now let's understand how to form sentences in present indefinite tense. What is the structure? Let's talk about positive sentences first. Affirmative sentences. Now, affirmative sentences are sentences that are positive, that talk about positive things, okay, that tell you statements. Now, to form an affirmative sentence, this is how you write a sentence. First comes the subject, then comes the verb in the first form, right? You add s or es at the end of the verb. If the subject is singular, we'll talk about it. And then comes the object or the modifier, okay? So if the subject is plural, what are plural subjects? Like I, you, we, they, and all the plural noun names like boys, girls, doctors, teachers, players, right? With plural subjects, we use the verb in the first form. Okay, and if the subject is singular, we use s or es at the end of the verb, right? If the subject is singular. Now, what are singular subjects? It's he, she, it, and all the singular noun names like Max, Rahul, Sneha, book, doctor, teacher, right? So, okay, look at these examples. Plural subjects. I teach English. We cry sometimes. You cook amazingly well. They come here every day, right? So all these subjects are plural. I, we, you, they. And we're using the first form of verbs here. Teach, cry, cook, come. But if the subject is singular, we change the form of these verbs. We add s or es at the end of the verb. Okay, I teach English. He teaches yoga to kids. She cry? No, cries a lot. John cooks amazingly well. Cook cooks amazingly well. He comes here every day. Now, why are we doing it? Why do we add s or es at the end of the verb? Right. Let's understand this. It's happening because of something. What is that? See, all the verbs in the base form are plural, right? Plural. And to make the verb singular, you have to add s or es at the end of it, right? Because if the subject is singular, the verb has to be singular. And how do you make a verb singular? By adding s or es at the end of it, right? So that's the reason why we add s or es at the end of a verb, because the subject has to agree with the verb as well. Okay, so that's affirmative sentences. Let's talk about negative sentences. In the negative sentences, we have the subject first, followed by do not or does not, followed by the verb, then followed by the object or modifier. Now, if the subject is plural, use do not. Use do not. If the subject is singular, use does not. Okay, plural subject do not, singular subject does not. I do not watch movies. We don't drink at all. You don't love me. They don't play football. It's do not, do not, do not, do not. We've shortened it. Okay, it's a contracted form. It's more common in English, right? Do not, don't. Singular. He does not watch movies. She does not drink at all. He does not love me. Max does not play football. Okay, we just change the helping verbs. We do not change the main verbs. So it's not like he does not watch his movies. You cannot do that. You just change the helping verb. You do not change the main verb. In negative, interrogative, and interrogative negative sentences. Only in affirmative sentences you change the main verb. And in negative, interrogative, and interrogative negative sentences, you do not change the main verb. You just change the helping verb. Okay. He does not, she does not, he does not, Max does not. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. Interrogative sentences. Here we ask question. How? Do, does, followed by the subject, followed by the first form of the verb, followed by object or modifier, followed by this snake question mark. Okay. If the subject is plural, use do. If the subject is singular, use does. Okay. Do you play football? Do you play football? Do they come here? Do teachers love their job? So all these subjects are plural. You, they, teachers. And that's the reason why we're using do. Okay. Singular subject. Does he play football? Does she come here? Does Max love his job? So if the subject is singular, we use does. Okay. And what do we do in interrogative negative sentences? We just add a not after the subject. Do, does, followed by the subject, then not, V1 followed by object modifier, then this little sweet snake. Okay. Examples. Do you not play football? Do you play football? Do you not play football? Do they not come here? Do teachers not love their job? Singular. Does he not play football? Does she not come here? Does Max not love his job? Okay. So that's how we form interrogative negative sentences in present indefinite tense. I hope you understood this tense, right? That's all I wanted you to do. I wanted you to understand how to use this tense. And now you also know the structure, okay? How to form sentences in present indefinite tense. One more thing. So when you talk about actions that you do repeatedly, right? You can also talk about the frequency, as I told you in the beginning of the lesson, right? So these are some words that show you the frequency of an action. Every day, always, usually, frequently, normally, generally, often, sometimes, seldom, hardly, rarely, never, right? He always helps me. How often? He always helps me. You can also say he sometimes helps me. I make grammar lessons sometimes. I make grammar lessons sometimes. This is the frequency. I make grammar lessons I rarely make grammar lessons. I hardly make grammar lessons. I always make grammar lessons. You can talk about the frequency of the action. My father never teaches meditation to kids. My father always teaches meditation to kids. My father daily teaches meditation to kids, right? So you can also talk about the frequency of the action as well. So now you know how to use present indefinite tense. I hope everything is clear. So that's all about today's lesson, guys. If you like this lesson, hit the like button. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can watch my post on indefinite tense, present indefinite tense on my website as well. I'll give you the link in the description. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll talk to you there. And I'll see you guys very soon. Till then, keep learning, have fun, spread love. I'm out. Peace.